Alrighty, I call this meeting to order at 3 p.m. Alrighty, going into our agenda, we first have our roll call / attendance. Chairperson Matheson is here. Vice Chair Ba is not here. Parliamentarian Rachel.
Here.
Eros.
Here.
Austin.
Here.
Alex Cordon.
Here.
And I believe that's everybody.
Here. We're missing Abby.
Abby, yes. Okay, very good. Abby
and Ba.
Abby Tatuko and Ba are the two that are not present at today's meeting. Alrighty. Going further, we will go into the approval of the agenda. You can find that in the Microsoft Teams or right here.
I motion to approve. Second.
All right. Any discussion? All in favor, please raise your hands. Motion passes unanimously. Moving on to the approval of the minutes. Do we have minutes from last week's? Alrighty, so we will forego that for this meeting. And finally, reports. There are currently no reports from the chair, reports from the advisor.
I just want to remind you all that the for base funding presentation, each presenter gets 10 minutes to present. If you get questions in your mind that you want to ask during that time, then I would suggest you jot them down after that presentation. Then you'll have 10 minutes to ask questions. So that would be the good time to bring those up. And be sure to refer to your binder. Rachel, you should be able to access this stuff through Teams. Your binder is here, so if you take notes and want to bring those next time, you can add them. And does anybody have any questions before we get going on that?
I just wanted to add there was one sheet that was added to each of your binder, and all it is just an overview summary of every basically section that is in the binder. So that is every request for FY27, along with last year's request and what you all actually gave for base funding. So just for your reference, but it should match everything that is in the binder already.
Alrighty, going forward, there was no reports from CWU. There's been no communication received. We have the first call for public comment. Alrighty, and with that, we will be moving on to our first item in new business, which is the SUB custodial.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Ryan Jack. I'm the Assistant Director of Operations here at the CERC, and I supervise the sub-custodial team. I'll start with a little overview of the mission of the CERC. So the Student Union provides an environment that promotes innovation, integrity, service, and community. Our facility is the hub for student life at CWU, with many opportunities for students to engage in activities and events. We strive to be at the forefront of service to students, the campus, and the community. We assess the effectiveness of our mission through analysis of facility usage, space allocation, and resource utilization. The sub-custodial team supports the Student Union, Wildcat Shop, and dining with a strong emphasis on sustainability through waste reduction and the use of the environmentally responsible cleaning products. We're a team committed to fostering mutual respect and a sense of belonging within our team and interactions with those around us. We facilitate events and maintain the cleanliness of the building. which promotes an environment where students feel welcome. We hosted 2,290 S&A events in the CIRC last year. And we offer student employment opportunities, which further enhance the students' education outside of the classroom and support their financial needs. These are just a few examples of how we support the S&A's mission. Utilization of the CIRC in fiscal year 25, which was last year, there were over 1.5 million entrances into the building. This data is collected with door counters at each entrance. And there aren't any duplicate entries. So it just every time somebody comes into the CIRC, it counts, and then you have 1.5 million entrances. And they could be coming here for a number of reasons, whether they're here to eat dinner, study in one of our spaces, or actively attending an S&A event. They're using our program. Subcustodial supports that day-to-day need for the building. Custodial need, that is. And the facility operates up to 17 hours a day, varying traffic patterns with peak entrances around 13,000 visitors per day. Maintaining the cleanliness between rotations of meeting rooms, public areas, and restrooms is critical to the successful operation of this facility. These services are essential and directly enhance the student experience overall. The current and ongoing budget reductions for the remainder of this funding cycle have a direct impact on our student wages and significantly limit our ability to purchase the equipment required to maintain the building. We are requesting $250,000 or $915,000 matching the amount we requested in the previous quadrennial and reflecting our continued commitment to responsible budgeting. The cost of goods and services continues to rise, and minimum wage increases annually. We consistently seek opportunities to reduce costs and improve efficiency in our daily operations to answer this inflation. There's a recent example you might notice on the first floor of the student union that we've installed the hand dryers. That upgrade definitely reduces the use of paper towels and garbage bags, which helps lower essential operating expenses. Goods and services are one area that we have a little control over, but we don't have control over the price. So all we have control over is usage. So we're trying to minimize that to lower the cost. And that's pretty much sums it up. Are there any questions about sub-custodial? Yes.
So moving forward, we're does that mean we can expect more like dryers instead of like paper towels? Or are we kind of just kind of keeping the exact same thing?
Good question. So currently, we are working in partnership with a student sustainability project. So the sustainability project purchased the hand dryers. We're utilizing that opportunity to kind of collect data and see if it directly lowers our expenses, and see if it's worth having in the future. Where we expand to more hand dryers in all of our bathrooms. I know there's a difference of opinion on paper towel use versus hand drying, and so we'll take that opportunity to gather all that information.
Thank you.
I want to ask, where else does custodial get funds from?
Great question. So we are partially funded by the S&A fee and then by the sub fee. We're recently partially funded by dining for their dining custodial as well. But that is outside of the student union operation.
Looking at the expense breakdown here, the student payroll is around 66,000 and the non-student payroll is 400,000 and some change. Do you know how many students and non-students are currently employed under sub-custodial?
Yeah, we currently have, I believe, 8 student employees. And then those full-time employees include the dining custodial as well, which there are 4 full-time employees funded by dining.
So those are funded by dining. So the 414,000 isn't funded by S&A, or is that also funded? Is it partially funded, or?
Yeah.
So
Microphone.
So 4 positions are funded by auxiliary, which is dining. And that money comes in, you'll see it comes into the line item of expenses as a negative balance. That's actually a positive balance. So that's where the money is coming in for that. And then we also, for the student union, we have another 5 full-time staff for the student union portion of the building. Does that answer your question? Yeah.
Thank you.
Do we have any questions online? Okay. Alrighty. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Moving on, we will move to our second base funding request of the day for scheduling services.
Hi there, my name is Cherie Wilson. I'm the director of the student union, and I'm here to talk to you today about scheduling services. So a little bit about scheduling services. It was created many years ago as a one-stop shop for people to schedule non-course credited events, meetings, workshops, conferences on campus, not just in this building, but all over campus. So the way the budget was created was they decided that at the time that everybody would pay into it. So the way it works is that we receive S&A funds, we receive sub-fee, we receive state funds, and we get money from the conference program as well. So that all of that money creates that budget that helps employ 1.5 full-time staff and 1 student employee. I've been here for 28 years. At least 20 of those years, you guys have paid $30,000. That fee has not gone up. We continue to ask for the same amount to fund that program. Scheduling services not only, as I mentioned, schedules the circ, but they also schedule academic space for meetings, workshops, major events on campus, orientation, homecoming, commencement, all of those good things come through our office. We also help with resources. So if you need, like in this room, you needed microphones that came through the scheduling office. Not only did you schedule the space, you scheduled the equipment. Maybe you wanted the room set up a certain way, they would help you with that as well. In the academic buildings, if you needed a room set up a certain way, we would create the work order for you. So it truly is a one-stop shop to make your guys' life easier. And this department is housed in the CERC specifically because we wanted to make sure it was easy access for student clubs. This gives you a breakdown of how who uses the space on campus. So you can see S&A groups, and S&A groups would be everybody you guys fund. Last year used it 3615 times. Compared to departments, we scheduled 9,113 meetings, events, that sort of thing for them. Conferences used us 124 events, and off-campus groups was 527 events. And do you have any questions?
Oh,
Yes.
definitely.
Do S&A funded areas pay to use meeting space in the CERC?
No, great question. No, they do not. So if you came into this room and used the room exactly how it was, you wouldn't get charged any fee for that. The only thing we charge for is basically for labor. So somebody to set up the mics, you're going to get charged for the equipment. If we had the room set up a certain way, you're going to get charged for that. But to use a meeting room, you would not get charged any room rental fee.
Well, thank you for answering my first question. My second question, do we know on average how much non-SNA funded areas get charged for using the CERC with scheduling?
That's a great question too. So non-SNA funded areas like a department on campus also don't get charged for room rental in the CERC or in any academic space. It's kind of a trade-off. So you guys don't get charged for, clubs don't get charged for the use of academic space, and you don't get charged for SNA, and the same with departments.
I have a question.
Yes.
Yes. Hi. I unfortunately don't have my binder in front of me, and I am not good with Microsoft Teams. So sorry to everybody if I'm asking questions that everyone else can see the answers to. So is the 30,000 strictly for wages based on labor, or what is it being allocated towards?
Yes, this budget doesn't have hardly any goods and services in it. It's truly just for wages for those employees in this budget. Very, very little goods and services in this budget.
Thank you.
With how widespread of a service this is, I am curious about the 1.5 full-time workers and 1 student worker. I guess my question is, if you continue to request the 30,000 at the flat fee, even with the rising rate of Central as a campus and the cost of it, is that able to go on in the long run?
Yes, that's very true. We have not we haven't raised it in many, many years. And we've found ways to reduce costs. For example, the reason there's a half a position is because the position also oversees the information center and the staff in the information center. So part of their job is to do that work, which is really not scheduling. It's the operation of the building. So my operations budget pays for that. So that's how we've saved money in the past. But yes, in future, we most likely will need to increase that amount. We're just trying to do our due diligence to not do that right now because of budget constraints. Yep. I did have an add-on to your question, Alex, about the room rental and so departments, when they use this building, they don't get charged room rental, but they do get charged twice as much for the equipment that an S&A group would get charged. So that's where there's a little bit of a discount.
And for off-campus groups and clubs coming in, how much roughly would they be charged?
So an off-campus group, for example, let's use the ballroom because that's usually one of the main rooms that they use if it's an off-campus group. They get charged $240 per section. And that money helps to supplement our operational budget so that we don't have to charge students higher fees for the sub fee because the operations budget is 100% funded by the sub fee.
Do we have any more questions? All righty, thank you very much.
Thank you. I like the snapping. Okay.
And as the advisors made me aware, the admin fee clarification has been clarified.
Yes,
Oh.
I thought I made a mistake and that was the mistake, which
Yep.
if only they were all like that. Okay.
Moving on to old business, we have our last item on the agenda for today, the supplemental wage increase supplemental request, the student wage increase supplemental request. I open the floor for discussion. Give us one moment as we go through our documents. Aaron, could you remind the committee exactly how much we have remaining in the supplemental pot? Oh, and the amount for the wage increase reimbursement or supplemental.
You all currently have 47,456.29 to allocate as of this moment in time.
While Aaron pulls it up, I do remember that the number for the supplemental wage increase was somewhere around, oh, there it is. Yeah, 16,000. Yeah. And one last clarification for the committee, Aaron. How much are we getting every month into the supplemental pot again?
I think it's about 4,500. And that's just it, plus any other salary savings, or if we have an influx of student fee revenue, that would impact it also.
Alrighty. So, Cordon?
I think I'm going to state this again and again. I'm a big defender about, getting students their wages. I'm not compromising on that in any way. So I'm completely for, even if it's a big part of that. I think that the work students do should get, valued with pay that they deserve.
I agree. I don't see any value in trying to diminish this because I feel like it's just going to be harder for the departments involved and decrease the amount of employment we have at the university. So I am also for just allocating the full request.
For reference, if this request is passed, we would be at around 31,161 left in the supplemental pot. At the end of this, or at the beginning of next month, though, we would be up again to little over 35,500. So keep that in mind when making this decision. I do open the floor for any further discussion or any motions.
I motion to approve the what did I say? The supplemental fund. Wait, what? As it stands, do I say the amount? Sorry. Okay, of $16,294.55. Okay.
I second.
Any discussion? All right. All in favor, please raise your hand. All opposed? All righty. The vote passes at 3-0-1, I believe, because I'm, yeah. The motion still passes at 3-0-1 with one abstention. All righty. So we will send that off to Joel Clucking, and we will get word back from him hopefully within the next few weeks. With that, I open up the public comment for second call for public comment. Aaron.
I just want to acknowledge all the hard work you all are doing and thank you for another great week of thoughtful questions and great listening.
Okay. Anybody else?
I just noticed this. I just noticed like this whole other thing in today's rec center. Yeah. I have his question about that. That's all.
So the rec center was originally scheduled to be presenting today and they messaged and asked if they could reschedule. So that one is still in your book. And we'll move that when we get that rescheduled. Great question. Thank you.
That helps me because I was confused.
Also, I just want to say thank you for dealing with me on Zoom today. I don't like it, but I'm currently in Portland, so wanted to still be here. So thank you, and I'll try and train myself on the Microsoft Teams a bit more so I come a little bit more prepared.
No worries, Rachel. No worries. All righty. With that, would anybody like to give a motion to adjourn this meeting?
Motion to adjourn the meeting at 3:29 p.m.
I second.
All in favor, please raise your hands. Okay. Motion passes unanimously. This meeting is adjourned at 3:29, technically 3:30 p.m.
Thanks, guys.